What's good, YouTube, and welcome to the house. Duelist Pack 25 over in the OCG, which is still a legendary Duelist over here by name. They dropped that marketing in the OCG, but is living up to the name legendary so far, has its final reveals in the SPEEDROIDs. I'm react-andying to this. I have not gotten to read the cards yet, but I will say if this turns out pretty darn good, the Duelist packs over on YBM are just $550 a case. You can use code WhatsGood5 for 5% off and to support the channel directly, knocking that down to $522-ish. And if you do that by the 12 boxes inside, you are spending just $43.54-ish per box. That's an amazing breakdown, but the reason they're so much cheaper is Duelist packs in general are cheaper. This is not a collector rare set. This is one where they've started putting ghost rares inside. Last time it was the Ghost Wing Dragon of Ra. Instead here, we have pretty solid archetypes so far. I really like the new take on the Fleur stuff. I think that the Leerlusk is a bit underestimated and even has small updates for Tri-Brigade Leerlusk. And here, let's see how these SPEEDROIDs go. And if you're in the market for individual boxes, they have them as cheap as $52. You can still use code WhatsGood5 to make them even cheaper and support the channel. Let's go through this and see how they turned out. Ooh, we gotta put it in the slow-ro mode, though, and put it on the scene where we read a card at a time, since we're a React and the channel here. SPEEDROID Party Horn Kid is a level 4 wind machine tuner effect. What else would you expect from SPEEDROIDs than wind tuners? Although often you get wind locked inside SPEEDROIDs depending on your combos. Attack 1,000, defense 1,000. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn each. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can excavate cards from the top of your deck equal to the number of other wind monsters you control, so not including himself. Add the one excavated card to your hand. Also, place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. We've got a little miniature pot of duality that doesn't restrict you in any way, shape, or form with this effect. That is pretty cool. All you need is other wind monsters, so this becomes a pretty superior extender for digging should you be special summoning him out, which is not the hardest thing in the world to do with SPEEDROIDs, all things considered, and you can still normal summon him to get the effect also. Second effect, yeah, he gets a second effect despite that first one being so good. You can banish this card from the graveyard, then target one level 3 or higher wind monster you control, reduce its levels by 2. As you know, there are a lot of ways to synchro climb inside of SPEEDROID, so level modulation really can't be understated overall. I think that is pretty important for the deck. So he does do something in the graveyard that's not overwhelmingly overpowerful, but is nice for the deck. And his first effect is pretty darn good. His typing, tuner, machine, all that, not machine dupable. Okay, let's get to the next card. That was really good for a start, though. SPEEDROID Magic Hound looks so derpy. I'm here for it. I love this. That is awesome. He has a level 3 wind machine effect monster attack 800. I see they're really dodging machine dupe. Defense 800. You can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. When this card is normal summoned, you can send a SPEEDROID card from your deck to the graveyard. And we see the new graveyard effect too. Okay, so they're really allowing you to Foolish Burial. You have grave effects that are desired here. I like where this is going. And that's only on normal summon, though, I just noticed. No special summon. You do have to eat your normal summon for that. If this card is in your graveyard, except the turn it was sent there, you can banish this card, then target a SPEEDROID monster in your graveyard, shuffle it into the deck, and if you do, special summon one SPEEDROID Synchro monster with the same level but different name from your extra deck, but its effects are negated. Okay, so, like, you can basically pop out the same kind of ones and start climbing there, thus furthering your resources for what's already in the grave. It only gets the normal summon effect. It's also a turn lock on this, making it for the grind state. Not the worst card, not the best card. You should still, even in a deck like this, expect a grind back and forth game, so it might find its way into the deck. I like the first card a lot more so far. A level 3 Synchro, well, that level modulation coming into play faster, right? High SPEEDROID Cork Blaster is a level 3 wind synchro tuner effect monster. Of course, we need more synchro tuners. Attack 500, defense 1,000, one tuner plus one or more non-tuner monsters. You can only use the effect of this card's name once per turn. You cannot special summon monsters the turn you activate this card's effect except wind monsters, so that goes backwards. It's not like for the rest of the turn, it is this turn. If this card is synchro summoned, you can activate one of these effects. Add a Speedroid spell or trap from the deck to your hand. Oh, right, Robbie is streaming. I might want to turn off those alerts for just a second. If this card was Synchro summoned using only Speedroid monsters as material, and all the materials that were used for Synchro summons are in your graveyard, special summon all of them? Wait, let me make sure I read that right. If this card was Synchro summoned using only Speedroid monsters, and all materials were used are in the graveyard, special summon them. There's no negation of effect, there's nothing slowing them down, so that combo's way harder with this, where you would knock something's level down by 2 if you can manage to Synchro with it. Okay. So we have some really interesting stuff there with this for Synchro Climbing too, because it itself is going to be a tuner and just help you even go further up the board, and it's accessible from the extra deck. It is a hard OPT, but that is a really amazing card. I like that one a lot. This raises the ceiling on the deck and where it's going to go for sure. Ah, a big boy here. High Speedroid Clear Wing Rider. You have Clear Wing in the back here directly in. Level 11 Wind Machine Synchro Monster. That looks like a dual runner that is just made off of... Oh, that is so freaking cool. Okay, attack 3,500, defense 2,000. I'm gonna stop fanboying. Materials 1 wind tuner plus 1 non-tuner wind synchro monster. So it does have to be basically a wind synchro. We just got one of those here that is a tuner, but that would be in the tuner slot then, and it has to be a non-tuner. Okay, so you have to do it. It's a big boy. It's 11. You could use Clear Wing or something else for that pretty easily. Once per turn, you can roll a 6-sided dice. I don't like where that's going. You can roll a dice. Okay, then. And shuffle wind monsters from your graveyard into the deck up to the result, and you can destroy cards your opponent controls up to the number shuffled, and if you do, this card gains 500 attack for each card destroyed by this effect till the end of the turn. So you roll high, it gets even bigger, can climb over anything, pops cards, takes care of things on your opponent's field on a dice roll. Man, I'm having flashbacks, Snipe Hunter. At least you're gonna take care of one thing at the worst case scenario, sure. But I have a question, and if you do this card... what if you can't fulfill the number rolled? You roll a dice and shuffle wind monsters from your graveyard into the deck up to. Okay, so it's up to. So you can still, if you roll high, you can do less. That makes sense. And then you still have the minimal worst outcomes. That's not terrible. I'm convincing myself here. But I do think it's kind of a little bit wacky. And it seems like a lot of the new cards you want to leave as resources in your graveyard. So it's like a calculated boss monster move. At least the up to part lets you leave those specific cards if you roll over, as I'm understanding it right now. During your opponent's main phase, quick effect, you can tribute this Synchro summoned card. Special summon up to 2 level 7 wind synchro monsters with different names from your extra deck. I'm not sure all the targets for that. I think the Adagnister Wind Monster, Clear Wing. There has to be more than that, obviously, but off the top of my head, level 7 the wind synchros aren't specifically the most insane thing in the world, but this can't be bad because you can, like, dodge effects and then bring out 2 bodies on board that can also do good things in the graveyard, like the Adagnister. That's interesting, and it does not negate their effects either. I would have to see specifically how that turns out, but you do have a destruction effect, then a dodge effect / good split effect. It's not bad for sure, but I'd have to see the specific targets to break that one down. And finally, we have Speedroid Duplicate, and it looks like we're into the ghost rare. I was spoiled there. So you have a normal trap card. You can only use the second effect of this card's name once per duel. Banish 1 wind monster from your graveyard, then target 1 card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. You banish a wind monster and bounce. That's pretty good, but it's still a targeting bounce, and modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Targeting has become a little less powerful. I guess there's more armor against stuff like that, but it's still good that it's bouncing. It is like bounce removal's pretty good. Like this takes care of Clops, yep. Mega Clops, bye. During your main phase, if this card is in your graveyard, you can target 1 Speedroid monster you control. Reduce its level by 1, and if you do, special summon this card as a normal monster. Machine Tuner, win level 1, attack 0, defense 0. I did not see that coming. I did not see a trap monster coming out. What the heck? And if it's in your graveyard too. I don't see the saying banish either. You can only use the second effect once per duel though, so hard once per duel is definitely deserved. I missed that when I started. I would have definitely overreacted to once per duel if I caught on to that. Wow, That is crazy. I'm a monster, by the way. That's what he's doing. That is some real ingenuity to a card. I like this. Some play. It's preparing the deck for the grind state, giving it some solid options. Oh, also to note, Ghost Rare has changed heavily how it looks in the OCG now, so I see why they would revisit a Ghost Rare like this. We've stayed with the classic Ghost Rare instead of the inverse looking one. That's why I definitely don't think it would be Clearwing for us again in this pack. I think the big brain theory, if you are in the market for it, smile, would be alter our Stardust as Stardust was bolded and still is in the set description. That would sell this set to the freaking moon, but I think realistically it is probably crystal clear Wing Synchro Dragon, the new guy over here, probably getting one, as we already have Crystal Wing and Clear Wing. I think the new guy will be lining up in the set to help sell the others, this dapper looking guy. I don't know though. What do you guys think, the Ghost Rare will be? I don't think it'll be the same. And let's see what else is down here. We got reprints on reprints. A lot of cards have spiked up in price for the Speedroids on the secondary market. Should be interesting to see what reprints we get in here as well. But to go back to the point of the set and how it is structured real quick, keep in mind this is a Duelist pack. Its structure is 9 Ultras, 8 Supers, 10 Rares, 29 Commons. It's still under the legendary Duelist name. It's still structured that way for pull rates and stuff like that. So if you are buying, there is probably, if we go to the last Ghost Rare, around 1 per case, but that's not guaranteed either. If you're getting in, these all seem to turn out way better than I thought they would. The Speedroid seems super competent. Not Tri-Brigade, but the Leer Lust that mix with Tri-Brigade a little bit, but are super good on their own with that non-hard once per turn. I'm excited for those, and I think that the Fleur Synchro stuff is really high ceiling in the future for Yu-Gi-Oh!, but right now is kind of just chilling. I overall do, though, think that this will turn out pretty good long term. I think it brings back Legendary to the name Legendary Duelist, and even though Rage of Ra did good sealed long term, it's all on the back of the God card name and the God card structure decks coming up / Ghost Ra, whereas this, I think, will find its own market and be kind of welcome into it, especially with how all the archetypes went. But what do you guys think of the set? Am I overhyped for it? Is it just that, like, a Legendary Duelist doesn't usually smell this good, or a Duelist pack doesn't? Because I'm really feeling like it turned out good for its theme and for all the decks, and I am pretty excited about it, especially at the low price it's at. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation, and I truly do want to hear what you guys have to think. I'm not the biggest Speedroid expert in the world, but I do think this is highly competent support, and I think they get one more card for each archetype left that hasn't been revealed yet, which could be kind of hype. Some of the best for last, mayhaps, if I'm not mistaken.